Hello and welcome to another episode of Bangladesh Today. It's been a violence-filled week in Bangladesh. Homemade bombs exploded, there were pitched battles between political activists, vehicles burnt, schools shut, and several arrests. The 18-party coalition opposition is causing chaos in order to coerce Sheikh Hasina's government to put in place a caretaker government before the 2014 elections. Hundreds of supporters of the Jamaat-e-Islami party took to the streets of Dhaka and several other cities, clashing with the police and burning vehicles.
আমাদের সংগ্রামী মহাসচিব মির্জা ফখরুল ইসলামের গ্রেপ্তারের প্রতিবাদে আজকে অর্থ দিবস হরতাল চলছে। আমাদের পার্টি অবরুদ্ধ করে রাখা হয়েছে, আমাদের সিনিয়র নেতাদেরকে বাইরে হতে দিচ্ছে না, ঢুকতেও দিচ্ছে না। সেখানে আমরা মনে করি সরকার এই স্বৈরাচারী আচরণ দিয়ে আন্দোলন স্তব্ধ করা যাবে না যতক্ষণ পর্যন্ত আমাদের তত্ত্বাবধায়ক সরকার সংবিধানে পুনঃসংযোজন না করা হবে। আমাদের আন্দোলন চলতে থাকবে, যতই গ্রেপ্তার হোক আর নির্যাতন হোক।
The police chased the activists who threw stones and torched cars, despite the heavy presence of security forces.
পর্যাপ্ত আমাদের নিরাপত্তার ব্যবস্থা নেওয়া হয়েছে। আমাদের প্রচুর ফোর্স মোতায়েন করা আছে। আইনশৃঙ্খলা রক্ষাকারী অন্যান্য বাহিনীও তৎপর আছে। আমাদের ডিবি সাদা পোশাকে অনেক পুলিশ নিয়োজিত আছে। তো আপনারা দেখেছেন যে প্রচুর পরিমাণ গাড়ি এবং চলাচল করছে রোডে। তো তাদের নিরাপত্তার জন্যই আমরা আমাদের যে নিরাপত্তা ব্যবস্থাটা আরও জোরদার করেছি, আপনারা দেখছেন। পাশাপাশি আমরা খেয়াল করেছি যে কিছু কিছু জায়গায় বিক্ষিপ্তভাবে তারা গলি থেকে বের হয়ে গাড়ি ভাঙচুরের চেষ্টা করছে। তা আমরা সেই দিকটাও তৎপরতা রেখেছি যাতে এ ধরনের কোনো তৎপরতা তারা না চালাতে পারে।
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has urged the people to be united in resisting any violent activities of the Jamaat-e-Islami, which is spearheading the protests.
As an economist, I can tell you what is the impact of Hartal. That's beyond the point. But I think your question is when we are going to celebrate something historical in terms of verdict of the whole process of crime against humanity and verdict of war criminals against the war criminals. Precisely at that time the Hartal is going on. There are two reasons. One, I associate this with the rise of fundamentalism in this country, and it rose after the killing of the father of the nation in 1975. And I said already that we had democracy and we have shifted to democracy, but in between the whole time, most of the time, 30 years almost, was non-democratic military rule, autocracy and military-backed so-called democracy. That created a space in which the economics of fundamentalism has grown up. That created a space which created the space for criminalization of the economy, also criminalization of politics. And within that orbit and during that time, these fundamentalist forces who were against the war of independence of Bangladesh, they have created their own economy within the mainstream economy, which I call economics of fundamentalism. And thereby they have created a state within a state and government within government. So I think that since we are going to have a positive verdict in terms of war criminals, punishment of those war criminals and crimes against humanity, they logically they cannot be dormant. They cannot sit idle.
The Jamaat-e-Islami, Bangladesh's largest Islamic party and the main partner of Khaleda Zia's Bangladesh Nationalist Party, has been demanding the release of 9 of its leaders facing charges of crime against humanity. Two BNP leaders also face similar charges. The Jamaat-e-Islami leaders are accused of abetting the Pakistan army in the genocide, rape and murder of millions in the 1971 Liberation War. If convicted, the defendants could be hanged. Obviously, neither the Jamaat-e-Islami nor the BNP want the trials to conclude before the 2014 elections. December 16th is celebrated as Victory Day in Bangladesh. On this day in 1971, the Pakistan army surrendered in Dhaka, leading to the creation of the nation.
16th December is our Victory Day. This is the greatest celebration that comes around every year, because we were previously, before 16 December 1971, we were subjugated. We were part of a country which was being ruled by people who were subjugating in all respects, culturally, economically and otherwise, of the Bengalis, the so-called Pakistani leadership at that time, who were mainly the West Pakistanis. So this celebration is in the minds and hearts of Bangladeshis, every Bangladeshi, I would think. And therefore, when this time comes, I think everybody gets excited about it. We renew our pledges to rebuild the country, to build the country in a manner that everybody can participate in the development process as well as the benefit from the development. However, there were people when we fought the independence war, liberation war, who were opposing Pakistan, Bangladesh, and who were working for Pakistan in those days. And they tortured people, they in fact raped people, they did all kinds of things, arson and everything else. Those people are now being tried, some of them, not all of them, the top leaders of them, now being tried. And in the meantime, of course, their parties have rehabilitated in the country through interventions by other political elements. And they are now trying to see that these trials do not go forward, and therefore they are creating all kinds of problems, including hartals, arson, burning of cars, and so on. But there is no alternative but to go forward with completing the trial.
That the people had to go during this liberation war, killing, raping, torturing, all kinds of your crimes they made. Some people think, and sometimes people say that it is comparable with the kind of tortures and the crime that took place during the Second World War. I agree, but at the same time I also partially disagree. I agree because in the sense that in terms of the nature of the torture, sufferings may be more or less same, but there is a small difference. I should not say small, there is a big difference. Second World War was it is a declared war, and it's a international war, and ours was a civil war, you can say. It's within the framework of Pakistan. So it is in a civil war, people of the same nation so far until the 26th of March, when we our father of the nation declared independence. But till that time, 16th of December, when we really earned the victory, during this time I should say it's a civil war. So in civil war, the kind of torture and suffering that was made and that was had to undergo our people, I think this is much more than what happened in the Second World War. I say one thing, that why I say that I am not very happy with the process, for two reasons. One, personal, another is a non-personal, I mean general. I want to tell that it's not only a legal issue, it's a moral issue, and it's also an emotional issue. people who didn't see or suffer during this war of liberation, they will not realize what kind of sufferings we had to undergo. I am sorry to tell you a personal experience or sufferings. I lost 7 members of my family, including my wife, my father-in-law, my brother, I mean a cousin, and 4 other members, distant relations of my family.
However, it had become uncertain if Bangladeshis would indeed be allowed to celebrate this auspicious day this year, as protests and demonstrations had vitiated the social atmosphere in the country by political forces which had vested interests above nationalist sentiments. But the BNP has said that the 18-party alliance was not going to announce any new protests until December 26th to allow for calm Victory Day programs. Sheikh Hasina's government has vowed to not be coerced into going back to the caretaker government system. It promises to be capable enough of conducting free and fair polls next year. Meanwhile, the War Crimes Tribunal faced a major setback with the resignation of its judge Nizamul Haq, though he has cited personal reasons. The conversations came to light in an article published in The Economist. The War Crimes Tribunal accused the publication of hacking of phones of the judges and lawyers. The publication did not deny the allegations but said that it is in possession of the conversations and documents that raised questions about the fairness of the trials. The opposition parties have been quick to demand the scrapping of the tribunal inquiring into the war crimes committed in 1971.
I should say that it is undoubtedly very late. As you said that after 40 years is a long time. Any government during this last 40 years should have taken it up, because as you said, this is a crime against humanity. It is not just war crimes, it is also just not siding with Pakistan, Bangladesh, one can side with, but during this war the kind of crimes they made, that is against humanity. So, any government was in power should have taken it up, but very unfortunately during this 40 years time, most of the government, most of the political parties, or your what I should say, not say political parties, mostly this military, say for example Ziaur Rahman's Ershad and even Khaleda Zia, they did not take it up. Rather, in some cases they have rewarded them. Even I should say that Awami League has started it, as you said that Bangabandhu started the process, but he could not finish it because of the tragic death of his death, and his entire family was in fact killed. Awami League this time has started it. I should say that even for Awami League it is late, because in 1996 Awami League came in power. Awami League should have started it before, but in any case I am happy that Awami League has taken it up.
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has termed the trial process of war criminals as transparent and fair, and that it was a necessary step in the path of reconciliation. It's a trying time for the ruling party in Bangladesh. While it has to maintain law and order in the face of extreme provocations, it is also to preserve its democratic credentials by allowing the opposition freedom to oppose it. More on that in the coming episodes. That's all we have for you in Bangladesh today. Thank you for watching.